was just minding my own business, just scrolling through Twitter, and then I see this post by Marques Brownlee, and I was like, how did you get it so early? Wasn't it supposed to be like released like freaking next month or something? How? I watched this video. It was obviously amazing, and it sort of hit me like, it's been 10 years that I've been using Apple products. Like, literally. I remember when I first entered high school, it was 2010, and that was the year when my dad first bought the iPod Touch. 2010 was when it all began, basically. And so I thought, why not I do a video on my experience with Apple products for the past 10 years. So yeah, let's get right into this. So the year was 2010. The smartphone at the time was, in my opinion, still in its infancy. And to be fair, the iPhone was here since, well, 2007. But in my country, it wasn't that famous until 2010. I remember seeing commercials from Maxis of the iPhone 3G, or was it the 3GS? And I used to watch those commercials and be like, damn, those phones are literally for millionaires or billionaires. I would never ever own those kinds of phones. Maybe once I started working or something. At the time, I never thought that I would be able to experience something like that. Well, until my dad decided to get the iPod Touch. Seeing and experiencing the iPod Touch was something so new because the interface at the time was buttery smooth and it was futuristic. You could do so many things. You could store your music. You could store thousands of music. By the way, the one that I own here it's 8 gigs. How the hell did we use 8 gigs at the time? I don't know. This was the ultimate media consumption device, and you could just fit it in your pocket easily. I remember back in 2010, my dad would fetch me back from high school, and he had this game that he downloaded called, well, it was Avatar. There was an Avatar game. Yeah, James Cameron. Well, it wasn't a tie-in to the movies, but it was a weird game. But that game kind of blew my mind. You know that a game with those kind of graphics, so basically it was a PlayStation 1 kind of graphics, and those kind of, a game with that kind of graphic capabilities get to fit into a device this small and tiny and touchscreen as well. So having like a touch interface product was very, very mind-blowing. This thing was the future. Basically. Yeah, this is a cool device, and at the time my dad was using this. And also during 2010, while he was using this, he got me this, the iPod Nano. Now, this was an interesting one. In the day, there was only this one Apple store that was in Sunway Carnival Mall, and we always went there to buy like all sorts of accessories for the iPod Touch, like cables and cases and speakers and stuff. It was a crazy year, and I remember seeing this on display and I was so amazed by it mainly because of how thin it was. I never had any MP3 devices before. I was using a Nokia Express Music. I'm not sure which model, but I'll put it up here. I remember seeing this on display, so I was trying to navigate through the interface and I couldn't, because every time I hit the down button, which is the play button, it kept playing music, which was kind of awkward because the iPod was connected to like a huge speaker. There had to come and switch it off, and then I remember he taught me how to do it, and he was like, just move your finger down like this, and I was like, what? It was so interesting that you could navigate this. Doing this was such a cool thing, and I was like, damn, that's cool. And not only that, there was a game. Wait, let me check if it's still here. Oh my god, it's still here, yeah. It was this game, one of these games. It was Maze. It's a maze where you're required to move a ball from point A to point B. And I remember struggling at first, and then I was like, how do I move this? How do I move the ball? And then I remember tilting it a bit, and then the ball moved, and I was like, wait, what? And that was my first ever experience to a gyroscope, and I was like, how did they fit a gyroscope into this device? Second of all, what is a gyroscope? So that was a year where Apple just blew my mind. And other than that, it had a freaking video camera. Like, what else can it do? To know that a device this tiny and this slim that has a freaking video camera was insane. I mean, it's pretty bad. It's 5 megapixels. You see me? Hello. Hi. I remember using this. I remember walking around my house recording and pretending that I was a Terminator. Those were fun and simpler times. Weird, of course, but simpler times. So throughout 2010 and a bit of 2011, I was rocking this and my Nokia Express Music in 2 of my pockets. Now moving along, it was also, I think, 2010, Apple unveiled at the time, the newest iPhone was the iPhone 4. Remember that? Remember that keynote when this happened?
Boy, I'm sorry guys, I don't know what's going on. Oh, yeah.
I remember trying to pester my dad to get one for himself, because at the time, whenever my dad buys a new product, something that he previously owned and will not use would usually come down to me. So I was hoping that, if he got the iPhone 4, the iPod Touch would come to me. And that was basically what happened. So, but I got the iPhone 4, which sadly doesn't work anymore. Like I literally cannot turn it on. Like I broke it. I basically broke it. I think this was one of the biggest updates to the iPhone ever since they released the first one. Because it had a different design, a more flatter design, which is kind of familiar. So weird to think that I used to text using this. I mean, look at how small it is. How did I type? It had a front-facing camera. This was one of the first iPhones to ever receive a front-facing camera. This was the first time FaceTime was introduced. It was through the iPhone 4 and that generation's iPod Touch. So this was the iPhone 4, which was the beginning of an addiction that I would never ever overcome. I think around December of 2010 and early 2011, there were rumors that Apple was coming up with this device called the iPad. It wasn't the first tablet ever created, but it was basically the first ever tablet to intrigue the general consumers or the average consumers. Because previously, before, I think Microsoft had a couple of tablets at the time, and it was chunky and it looked weird. It looked like it belongs in the 80s. And then Apple released this guy, the first generation iPad. Yep, my dad got this in 2011. Now that's the reason why I don't want to show you the front, because it is gonna hurt you pretty badly. So there is a huge crack on the screen. I mean, to be fair, despite the crack, for a device that is around 9 years old, it works just fine. Sadly, there are no apps that is supported anymore in this. This is a YouTube app. Does it work? Oh no, it's a plugin. The screen is just, I mean, you could literally see the pixels. It was basically an iPod Touch but bigger. You could basically just see your mail, some light browsing, some YouTube and that kind of stuff, and it's mainly for media consumption. And not gonna lie, at the time, to have a portable screen that worked so well was a cool thing. Oh yeah, I remember. Okay, now I remember something. Oh my god, there was a FIFA 11 app that my dad got. Obviously, I played a lot. It was basically using the PlayStation 2 graphics, and the fact that you could play PlayStation 2 level graphics on a device like this, even the iPhone 4, was just like boom. I'm surprised that it still works as well. I mean, there's no support, but you technically can still use it. I mean, you could save movies. Do I have movies on this? Alright, it only has one speaker right over there. I mean, that looked pretty decent. I mean, ignoring the crack, but still. Oh yes. Oh, the goosebumps. So around 2012, my dad, for some reason, got sick and tired of the iPhone. Didn't like it because he made the switch to Samsung. At the time, Samsung released the Samsung Galaxy Beam, which was a phone that basically came with a built-in projector. I mean, what? And my dad switched to the Galaxy Beam, which meant that the iPhone 4 was not being used. And this is where I swooped in and I got my first ever smartphone ever. Towards the end of 2012 was when I got my first smartphone. For the first 3 years of my high school life, everyone had a smartphone. Like, replying to text was so hard because everyone would just do it so fast, and I'm just there like, guys, wait, I'm typing, just let me type, please. My fingers are huge. In my country, they had to sit for an exam called PMR. And it was like the most biggest exam, and you have to sit for it in order to proceed to the upper secondary? I don't know what they call it. In order to proceed to Form 4 and Form 5, so yeah. And I did well, I got 7 A's, that's right. Your boy's a genius. So yeah, since I did well, my grandmother bought me the iPad mini. The first generation iPad mini. I'm gonna lie, this is my favorite color of an Apple device like ever. Like this matte charcoal black kind of look, like it's so good. I love it. It was such a tiny screen, you could literally hold it in one hand, and sometimes you can even fit it into your pockets. Well, it depends on what pocket you have, but if your pocket's big enough, it's gonna fit an iPad mini for sure. It was slightly bigger than a PS Vita, except it's touchscreen and it's flat and it's so nice to use. I mean, imagine if Apple decided to make a gaming tablet in the form of the iPad mini. That would be dope. If Apple, you wanna use that idea, you could hit me up. A little 10% of the revenue. A lot of my slides and projects using this, and I mean, yeah, the keyboard was, I mean, the screen was small and typing on this was a bit hard, but still, it was doable. It was portable, and I think this was when my peak YouTube consuming era was at. So yeah, that is the iPad mini. Flash forward to around 2014, yeah. So I used the iPhone for like around 2 to 3 years. And by the way, I forgot to mention, when I got the iPhone 4, the home button didn't work. So the entirety of my usage of the iPhone, my first time ever, the home button never worked, and I never got it fixed because I could just use the built-in software button that you can just switch it on in the settings. So I was just using that the whole time. Towards 2014, the iPhone 4 was starting to die. Battery life would only last, like full charge would last 2 hours. That device was on the brink of death. I was in need of an upgrade, and it happened in the most interesting time ever, because I was interested in actually switching to Android. Because my dad at the time was using a Note 4. Previously he got a Note 3, and it was a cool device. The S Pen, the large screen, the OLED screen as well. He took me to the store and he was like, yep, I'm gonna get you a Note 4. And I was like, oh yeah, you know what, why not? little taste to the Android life. But then I was swayed back into the Apple life when I saw the iPhone 6 on display. Like, this was my first time of seeing it in person, and I was like, okay, this thing is pretty big. It's so slim. It feels so good in the hand. It looks so different from the 4 and the 5 and the 5S at the time. I was like, you know what? No, I'm getting this. I'm getting this, and so I did. So iPhone 6. Got it. I really liked it. Throughout my usage, this was a solid phone, except towards the end, but I mean, it still works. I was excited about the bigger screen, the better camera, the fact that you could shoot 1080p, 60 frames per second. I mean, at the time, it was pretty sick. And fun fact, this was the phone that I used to record my first ever and edit my first ever YouTube videos. So yeah, it was mostly this guy doing the heavy duty, like editing, recording, and even posting, all on this guy right here. So damn, this is interesting. And I was using this guy for around like 3 to 4 years. So yeah, the iPhone 6. Later on, I think this was like my first year in uni, and for some reason my dad signed up for this credit card company, and they decided to give him a free iPhone. And I was like, dope! And at the time, the newest iPhone was the iPhone 7 and the 7 Plus. And I was like, damn, okay, I wouldn't mind an upgrade. I mean, my 6 was still fine, but I wouldn't mind a new iPhone, a free one especially. I also forgot that there was another phone released that year, which was the iPhone SE. And that was what they sent. It was... yeah. When I first saw the box, I was like, are you for real? I mean, it wasn't even the right color. I mean, yeah, the box says rose gold, but this, let's be honest here, it's pink. Freaking pink. So the SE basically has the internals of the 6S, so it was already better than my phone, but at the same time not really. So I was basically using this as my secondary phone. My mom was supposed to use this, but the second that I mentioned that it was only 16 gigs, she was like, nah. I usually use this phone to store pictures, and I usually take pictures using this phone, yeah. It has a slightly better camera than the iPhone 6, so I was using this to take pictures a lot. If I'm not mistaken, this thing shot in 4K. Oh my god, it shoots in 4K, but I mean, to be fair, 30 frames per second, but still. Damn, okay. So automatically, as you can see, this phone had a better camera, so I was using it mainly to take pictures and even install like the beta updates for iOS. So yeah, the iPhone SE, the first generation iPhone SE. If I'm not mistaken, the iPhone 12 mini is around this size. Like from top to bottom is around 5.5 inches, I think. I could be wrong. But yeah, this is roughly the size of the iPhone mini. So if you want to get the iPhone mini, well, yeah, this is how big it is towards the third quarter of 2016. It was my first year at med school, and I remember going to Harvey Norman. I usually play with the devices that are displayed over there. At the time, they were selling the iPad Pro 2016. So the Pro models got released in 2015, and at the time it was like 12.7 inches. It was huge. So for 2016, they revealed a smaller one, which was 9.7 inches, and it was cool. But playing with it, my dad saw it. It was like, this would help you a lot in med school, and I was like, yeah, totally. And plus, it was my birthday as well. So I was like, you want one? And I was like, okay. Yeah, my dad got me the iPad Pro 2016. This was such a beast at the time. Multitasking, media consumption, doing work You guys remember that commercial where Apple basically mocking the PC?
Going on your computer.
What's a computer?
Basically, they're trying to replace the PC, and not going to lie, for me, my usage, my personal experience, so this thing basically replaced the PC for me, or in my case the laptop. I was using this guy and my iPhone, and both of these devices have Touch ID, and not gonna lie, the Touch ID on this was pretty bad. Like towards the later years, it got pretty bad. Like it kept failing a lot to the point where I just couldn't be bothered of using Touch ID. I just typed the password and couldn't be bothered with it. This guy right here, like throughout my usage of the iPad Pro 2016, it almost never failed. Like within a year of usage, it maybe failed like once or twice. At the time I was using this, the screen was decent. It could record in 4K if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so this guy also records in max 4K 30 frames per second. This guy was my recording / editing hub. But of course, I eventually stopped doing YouTube and started focusing more on my studies and some other stuff. 2017 and 2018 were such weird years, man, for me. But yeah, we'll not get into that. And most of the videos that you've seen were mostly edited on this guy right here. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was the iPad Pro 2016. I don't know if you guys noticed, but if you can see the top of the screen right over here, it started to show dead pixels on the top left of the screen. I don't know why or how it came. Like, I really took care of this iPhone, like really carefully. I had a Rhino Shield case as well. I wasn't gonna upgrade the iPhone that year, to be completely honest. When I saw the keynote, they sort of showed the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, and I was like, okay, looks the same. It has wireless charging, cool, I guess. It's faster, blah blah blah. And then they hit you with that one more thing, and I was like, what? Then they showed the iPhone 10, and I was like, damn, I need that. So the second it got released in Malaysia, I got it. Phone 10, which is, in my opinion, among all the iPhones that I've owned, this is the most beautiful one. Despite the notch, I don't get it. People really hate the notch. I don't mind it. It's been there, it's huge, but I've grown to ignore it, basically. So yeah, it had an OLED screen, a futuristic design, full screen. I think this is one of the first phones to have like a top to bottom full display kind of look, because at the time Samsung was doing its infinity display where it had like a very slim top and bottom bezel, and then Apple hit with the freaking notch and was like, you know what, boom. It's been roughly 3 years and it's still smooth, no lags. I think the only complaint is maybe the battery life. The battery stamina currently is at 8%. iOS 14 works perfectly. Throughout my usage of the iPhone 10, I mean, I'm still using it. It's been a great phone, like legit great phone. So yeah, that was the iPhone 10. I think it was around 2018. I will go to uni on Sunday evening. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I'll come back Friday. Or sometimes it'll be Thursday because there won't be any classes on Friday. So in one of those weekends, I was in a rush. So I put my iPad in my bag. Like, I just threw it in. It had a case on. To be fair, it wasn't a very good case. I came home, took out my iPad, and there was like this huge shatter on the screen. I broke my iPad. Or did I? On closer inspection, turned out it was actually the tempered glass. So I peeled the tempered glass out and it was actually just the tempered glass that broke. So, phew, problem solved, right? And then I sort of thought to myself, like, wait a minute, why would the tempered glass crack? Like, what hit it? Or something like bent it. And then I turned around and I noticed that there was there was a bend. To be fair, it was only this part. It wasn't the whole iPad. It only bent at this part, and that managed to crack the whole tempered glass. But yeah, that left with this little bendy thingy, which broke my soul. I remember going to the Apple store and trying to get it fixed because I thought it was just replacement of the back part. So the only choice I had was either get a 1-to-1 replacement of the same iPad for around 1.7K, which was decent, but then again, it was like a 2-year-old iPad. I was like, nah. Or I could just get, whatever iPad that they had at the time. But I remember just telling my dad, I was like, nah, I'm going to keep on using this. And to be fair, it's been great. It hasn't had any problems. It's just more of a cosmetic thing. If you look at it from an angle, you can see that some of the components inside is sort of pushing the screen, so it had like a little bright spot over here, which is a bit annoying, but I got used to it. It was fine. On that day in the Apple store, because I felt so sad and bad, I decided to get the Apple Pencil. This was kind of a panic buy or a pity buy. I don't know. This is the Gen 1 Apple Pencil. Not gonna lie, I didn't use it that much. The only time when I started to use this was mainly this year. Lockdown began, online classes was the only means of education. So I took that opportunity to sort of make use of this. Because this thing was very expensive, for a good reason. It is very good at taking notes, it's very precise and all that. I don't know why I drew that. It was good. It was good at taking notes, and plus you could read slides. You could edit the slides with this, so you could use this as sort of like a highlighter and just highlight your notes and all that. Like, that was sick. That was the Apple Pencil. I think it was 2019 when I started my year 3. So I had classes in hospitals and I required my phone a lot, and during that year my battery life, I think it never lasted a day. Like it would last like until the last 40-30% at 6 p.m. and sometimes it even goes to 10% at around 6 p.m. So there was a lot of heavy usage. So at the time I was looking for battery cases, and the one that Apple made for the 10s was very interesting. So the Apple case was properly well integrated into the OS, plus it had a lightning connector and you could wirelessly charge the case and the phone simultaneously. So that was cool. Yeah, not gonna lie, one of the best cases I've ever owned, like legit. So when you slide in the phone, you basically can bend because the top part is kind of soft touch. So you just slide it in and it does this little animation with the 2 batteries, and I thought that was kind of neat. Plus there's like a separate icon for it so you can see it charging. So I thought this was like, it was perfect. I'm not gonna lie, it adds a bit of weight to the phone, but you'll get used to it and it makes it more comfortable to hold. But if you're wearing a skinny jeans, yeah, this would be a problem. This case would, it's kind of chunky. It's a bit chunky, but still, it's nice. It feels, Apple really knows how to do a proper silicone case. I have not found a solid silicone case yet, like legit. I bought a lot of like fake Apple silicone cases and they were all shit. I think this was like end of 2018, beginning of 2019. Yeah, my dad had like a lot of points for his credit card and he wanted to sort of redeem them. And one of the items was the Apple Watch Series 4. So my dad got it. The Apple Watch Series 4. No lie, changed my opinion on smartwatches. Like legit. I think this also has like newer sensors and all that. So, and it has an ECG feature built in this, which sadly until now I have not used it, mainly because it's not available in my country. And right now it's only available to less than 15 countries. I don't know, I could be wrong, you can go check their websites. It's still not available worldwide yet for some weird reason. There's a lot of features that are not available worldwide, and I'm not even speaking just about the Apple Watch, but also the OS in general. Like there's a couple of features that just doesn't work outside the US, which kind of sucks, but let's hope that it will change in the future. I can like every time I wear this watch, you can check your heart rate. I've been more wary of it, so I've managed to reduce my heart rate. So it used to be really high. I used to be way more unhealthy, let's just put it that way. And ever since I got the Apple Watch, I've been more health conscious, because you got like a device that records, that tracks all these things, and you're more aware of what you do. So in that sort of standpoint, the Apple Watch does well. And also the fact that ever since I got this Apple Watch, if my phone is in my pocket, I rarely look at it anymore. So when there's a notification, I just look at this and that's it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Even Siri on the Apple Watch is pretty cool, where there's a raise to use Siri feature. Sometimes like I'm outside, I would want to know the weather and I'm too lazy to look at my phone. I'll be like, how's the weather?
It's currently raining at 26 degrees.
Really? Oh. Damn. So yeah, that's the Apple Watch Series 4. It's been a pretty decent Apple Watch. I love it. Works well. And yeah. So this was around September of 2019. I just put up these shelves, as you can see. I'm not sure you can see that one. You can see these two. By the way, this table didn't exist. I bought this year. So this was last year. There was nothing here at all. So on that day, I took off the case and I was charging this downstairs. So I had one of those cheap knockoff silicone Apple cases on this, and phone, for some dumb reason, I put it on the top shelf, and I think it wasn't completely inside. It was like slightly tipping outside. It was on the other side of the room, and then I got a notification on my watch, and I remember hearing a buzz and a loud thud. So I came across the room and I saw my phone flat on the ground, face down. And not gonna lie, I was like, oh well, because I thought it would survive it. And then I also remembered that 2 weeks back, my tempered glass cracked, so I took it off. So then it sort of hit me. It's like, wait, I don't have my tempered glass on. So I picked the phone up, and to my horror, I see a shattered screen. I had to live with it, or I had to get it fixed at Apple for a lot of money. Dad told me this. He was like, why don't you get the iPhone 10 fixed, and I'll use the iPhone 10 while I get you the new iPhone. And so I got the Pro. Well, I can't show it to you because I'm using it to record. So yeah, I got the 11 Pro. I remember sitting in the car staring at the box. I was like, I don't deserve this. Why am I getting rewarded for breaking my phone? That is what it is. My dad is an awesome man. Like, he legit is. And I can't thank him enough. So yeah, one of the amazing things about the 11 Pro is the cameras. The cameras are just amazing. Well, mainly the video camera. Right now it's recording at 4K 60 frames per second with minimum lighting. Like, this room is legit dark. Perspective, despite the minimum light source, I think it's doing well. I'm not sure. While I'm editing it, I'm gonna find out. So if I do post this, if you do see this, well, then it means I thought it was good enough to post. So yeah, the video camera for the iPhone has always been top notch. It's always been the best out there, and it still is. I wasn't a big fan of the matte finish at the back. For some reason, it didn't feel comfortable to me. This is one of the iPhones where I was actually glad to have a case on. I don't know why, maybe it's just me, but the matte finish it just felt a lot more slipperier. Is that a word? Slipperier? It felt more slippery compared to the glossy iPhone 10. Not gonna lie, like, otherwise this has been a great phone. Battery is decent. The screen is slightly brighter. You don't really notice it, but it's better. So yeah, this is my current and recent iPhone, but not the final Apple product though. Towards the end of 2019, I was looking for like wireless earbuds. Two basically that really caught my attention: the Sony noise cancelling ones and AirPods. So I had to decide between those two until Apple unveiled the AirPods Pro. So yeah, I got the AirPods Pro, and at the time, was it worth it? A little, I guess, kind of. 1K for earbuds, I mean that's just insane. But the noise cancellation on this is pretty decent. Even the sound quality, it's obviously way better than the normal earbuds, but still like a few levels lower than the Sony's. But recently, for the iOS 14, they have this new feature called spatial audio, which is a game changer for the AirPods Pro. It's a pretty sophisticated thing. Spatial audio basically works by tracking your head movement, which is so cool and bizarre, but mainly cool. Like, that feature alone has made the AirPods Pro worth its money. Not gonna lie, because even Unbox Therapy have said like this is a feature that is in the AirPods Pro but not even in the Sony's Mark IV noise cancelling headphones, which is very interesting considering that that's like the best headphones, and he was comparing these tiny earbuds with those beasts of a headphones, and he says that this has an edge to that. So that was pretty interesting. Comfort wise, one of the most comfortable earbuds ever. Like design, I like the design. I think maybe the color is an issue because white can get dirty easily. So yeah, the AirPods Pro, pretty decent. A tuft of hair just like drooping down here the whole time, the whole damn video. Whatever. So now we move on to the final ever device that I've ever gotten from Apple for this decade. Damn. When lockdown began this year, that was basically when I revived my channel in a way, because I haven't been uploading. I haven't uploaded this channel in a pretty long time. And the only reason why I started uploading again is because I was playing a lot of PUBG on my 2016 iPad Pro with my friends. One day I decided to record, my gameplay, and I didn't have any intentions of posting it. It's just that the recording was pretty good and the video was actually kind of funny, and I thought this could make a pretty decent YouTube video. So I did, and I kept doing it, and I've been uploading ever since. Editing wise, it was mostly done on the iPhone 11 Pro. So yeah, I mean, I could have edited on the 2016 iPad Pro, but that iPad kind of was beginning to struggle with the high performance kind of stuff. So that was kind of the reason why I felt like I should upgrade to the next iPad. So around my birthday, my dad agreed to get me the new iPad Pro in one condition: he gets the 2016 iPad Pro. So that's what happened. My dad got me the 2020 iPad Pro. Not gonna lie, this case that I got, I love it so much. It's by Unique. This video is not sponsored, by the way, but if Unique, you want to sponsor my videos, that would be amazing. Hit me up in the DMs or however you want. It's one of the best iPad cases that I've ever owned. And hopefully it would not bend, that I gotta look out for that now. And as you can see, the display is just like the 120 hertz. I'm not sure if you can see it through the screen, but I'm seeing it right now, and it's so smooth. This thing has helped so much. Like it was a huge change. I was editing in a much smaller screen, and bumping up to this one, which is a bigger screen and a much more powerful device, it works so well. So the LiDAR scanner, theoretically, it's supposed to be able to help in photography, right? Because it could measure the depth of the room and your subject and all that. So this iPad has portrait mode, but for some weird reason, when you click on portrait mode, it switches to the front camera, which is weird, because why? So yeah, there's no option to flip it to the back cameras, which is weird considering the fact that these cameras are probably better and the LiDAR scanner would probably help in portrait mode, so why is it not working like that? Apart from editing, like doing work on this, reading, watching videos, YouTube, finally you can watch 2160p videos on your iPhones and iPads. So that really boosted up the experience, media consumption wise. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say about the iPad. You know, I'm thinking about doing a full proper review on this. If you guys want to see a review on this 2020 iPad Pro, this is 11-inch model, by the way, the cheapest one, 128 gigs, and it's been great for me so far. And if you want to see me do a review on it, do leave a comment down below and like the video, show me that you want it. So that's my first ever decade using Apple products. I couldn't have done it without my dad. My dad has been so supportive, and without him, I don't think I would have even started YouTube. So yeah, it's cool how far I've come. The fact that my entire YouTube channel began on this single device right here. Like, it started here. This is how my YouTube channel began, on an iPhone 6. Which kind of comes to show that you can do anything. Like, technology has helped so much, and we've come so far, and God knows what the future has for us. Yeah, I wouldn't have done this without my dad, and I can't thank him enough. And if somehow in the future you're watching this, Pa, I want you to know that I am super appreciative of everything you've done for me. Not just this, everything else. Like the life that I'm living in, everything. Thank you. Not only to my dad, but my mom and my brother, everything. One of the reasons why I started doing YouTube, it was so that one day that I could start earning stuff by doing something that I love, so that I could sort of ease the burden on my parents, so they don't have to buy me everything every time, and I could buy things for myself, by myself. That's my goal for one day, to get my degree, or even be super successful on YouTube, so that I can afford the perfect lifestyle, the perfect life, to buy them the best house, the best things for my parents and my brother. Like, yeah, that's one of my goals, so that I can repay them. To accomplish that, it would mean a lot to me if you guys watching this video right now, if you watch the whole video till here, thank you. And it would be amazing if you leave a like, comment down below, and most importantly subscribe, because I am still around like 26 subscribers away from 100. That would technically be my first ever YouTube milestone, so that would be cool. The real first milestone is 1,000 subs technically, because that's when you actually start getting monetized with the new YouTube policies and all that. You need 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours in order to start earning from my videos. So currently, every video you've been watching right now, yeah, I'm earning nothing from it. I'm just doing it because it's in my free time and I enjoy doing it. And this video particularly is inspired by MKBHD, Marques Brownlee, Jonathan Morrison, Austin Evans, Unbox Therapy, UrAverageConsumer. Who am I missing? I don't know if I missed anyone. EverythingApplePro, iJustine. Yeah, they're all amazing YouTubers. But Marques Brownlee, he's like the top, like the king of the tech world, and I aspire to be somewhere as great as him. If I wasn't doing any gaming videos and mainly tech videos, that's the route I would have went to. I mean, like, the life that he's living, his office, it's like so amazing to be like in that environment and all that. I mean, I'm thankful for what I have here, and I thank my parents for it. Hope that one day when you see this, you will know that I appreciate you. I mean, I hope you don't watch this video now, because I'm pretty sure you won't be too happy with the fact that I'm posting random YouTube videos online. Oh god. I think that's all I can do for today. I had fun going down memory lane, just reliving all these moments, using all these devices. And well, here's to another 10 years of Apple, I guess. Tim Cook, if you're watching this, if you know about this, any Apple employee, it'd be cool if you could maybe, you know, sponsor me a couple videos, maybe send in a review unit for the iPhone 12. That would be nice. I would totally love to do a review on it. Please. Well, anyway, thank you for making awesome products. It would really help if you maybe make, you know, stuff cheaper and more affordable, but otherwise, you're doing great. It's late. I need to edit this, and I need to get some sleep. So, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.